If you're looking for a super easy and quick Poolish pizza recipe, don't look further. Today we're making one of the simplest, most forgiving doughs you can try at home. And the best part? My little helper will be the star of this bake, so you'll see that this recipe is truly beginner-friendly. As I mentioned, today's video is all about showing probably the easiest pizza recipe you can make with Poolish. And to prove just how simple it is, I asked my little helper to be the star of this bake. So, let's get started. First, we set up the PizzApp to bake 4 smaller pizzas with 70% hydration, 2% olive oil, 3% salt, and 30% Poolish. The Poolish is fermented overnight, then mixed with the main dough, and proofed at room temperature for about 5 to 6 hours. Since you can't set the Poolish temperature in the app, just shorten the time by about 3 to 4 times if you plan to cold ferment it. Fermentation in the fridge is roughly 3 to 4 times slower than at room temperature. This way, you'll get the right amount of yeast calculated for your dough. So, we mix the water, fresh yeast, and flour together, let it double in size, then place it in the fridge until tomorrow morning. So here we are the next morning. Salt, flour, and icy water are all pre-measured. Time to take the Poolish out and mix the main dough. It's been fermenting in the fridge for about 12 hours and is fluffed up nicely. Our little chef looks ready. So first, we add the salt to the water and give it a quick whisk. Then we scoop in the bubbly Poolish and start gradually incorporating the flour. Don't worry if the salt isn't fully dissolved. It'll blend in perfectly during mixing. And the icy water won't harm the Poolish. As you add the flour, the dough naturally warms up, and all those enzymes and microorganisms keep doing their thing. Fermentation. Mixing the pre-ferment with the water helps reduce the chance of clumping, so we prefer to give it a quick whisk until it reaches a creamy, pancake-like texture. In the beginning, a hand whisk works best, and as the dough thickens, switching to a hand mixer makes it easier to continue. For the Poolish, we used a stronger Manitoba flour, since we mixed a larger amount of yeast with a smaller amount of flour. Stronger flour can better resist the yeast's breakdown effect. For the main dough, we can use a mid-strength flour, as it will only ferment for about 5 to 6 hours after mixing. Choosing the right flour for your recipe is key to achieving the ideal texture and taste. Flour that's too strong can make your dough gummy and chewy, while flour that's too weak results in a dough that's difficult to handle. It lacks elasticity and tears easily. At this stage, mixing slowly helps the flour incorporate evenly and keeps the dough cool. Once all the flour is mixed in and the ice has melted, we add the 2% olive oil and continue mixing at a slightly faster speed. As the dough gets stronger and starts to thicken, we can gradually increase the mixer speed. With gluten forming, friction also increases, and the kneading slowly warms the dough toward our target temperature of around 23 degrees Celsius. That's the point where the yeast becomes active and the dough is ready. Mixing this way takes about 20 to 30 minutes and gives you a beautifully developed dough. After a 20-minute rest, we transfer the dough onto a lightly oiled, slightly damp tabletop for lamination. We flatten the dough ball a bit, stretch it out to its full width, and fold it back into a tight ball. This lamination step helps us build tension in the dough and supports gluten development. The elasticity and texture are spot on. Looks like our hand mixer method and the flour mixture work great, even for a beginner pizza lover. And now we roll it back into a ball and let it rest for another 20 minutes before balling. It's time to divide the dough into 4 pieces. Our little chef chose to use oiled plastic containers for proofing, and I don't blame her. Scooping dough balls out of a dough tray with a spatula can look a bit challenging at first, so this way the job is much easier. We use repurposed former pickle containers with a bit of olive oil inside for easier release later. I let her do the balling the way she learned from my videos, and only stepped in with a few tips for the last one. To avoid stickiness, don't be shy about using olive oil on your hands and on the table. While the dough balls were proofing, we prepared the ingredients for baking and did a little dry training, as athletes would say. Using a tortilla, she practiced how to pick up the dough with the peel, how to place it, and how to use the turning peel. And honestly, I don't think I need to tell you how nervous she was about this part. Time to grab one and tip the dough into the shaping mixture. A little rotation helps it release more easily. It already looks nice and airy. After flipping it so the wet side is on the bottom again, she gently flattens the middle. Using a bit more semolina on the counter helps prevent sticking and makes handling easier. Most of that semolina will bake off during cooking and while turning the pizza anyway. When the base feels large enough, she goes ahead and adds the toppings. After a few nerve-wracking moments, she lifted the pizza onto the peel and stretched it to its final size with surprising confidence, just like a pro. Placing and turning went pretty well, I'd say. It ended up a bit egg-shaped, but that just makes it more unique. The oven spring is spot on. The crust lifted beautifully and has the right amount of char and crunch. And the toppings, like nduja, mushrooms, and jalapenos, made it super juicy. And even the bottom is crisped up nicely. So I have no choice but to give it the official Real Fake Pizza Approved badge. It's a solid pizza out of 10. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Take care.